Hello everyone, my name is Ms. Mendez and I am an assistant principal here at Morris Middle School. And I am so happy to be able to talk to you today on Career Day about the career of an assistant principal. I have been with Morris Middle School for 2 years. This is my second year and I absolutely love being at this school. Most of the time it is a very busy job, but it is a job that I absolutely love. And one of the reasons that I love this job so much is because of the students that come to this school. So you're a big part of that that I want to talk to you about today. So first of all, what do you need to be an assistant principal? So you have to start with a career in teaching first of all. So you can't just automatically become an assistant principal or a principal. What you have to do is you have to start by, of course, graduating high school and then attending a university. And when you attend a university, you want to go ahead and major in something that you're going to want to teach. So it could be any subject. So you could do math, you could do science, social studies, any subject, and you can even do a fine art. You can do any subject and you get your teacher certificate. So usually it takes about 4 years. And so what you do is you get certified to become a teacher. Now, if you want to stay as a teacher, that's an awesome career. But if you want to move a little bit further in education, you can aspire to become an assistant principal or a principal by doing a few things. So the first thing you have to do is you have to have at least 3 years of an experience as a teacher. And again, in any subject. So a little secret about myself that a lot of students don't know is that I actually taught in fine arts. I was a choir director and I taught people and students how to sing. So that was a whole lot of fun for me. And I actually taught for 21 years before I became an assistant principal. Now, sometimes I think, why didn't I do it sooner? Because I love it so much. So I actually could have done it way before because all you need is to have 3 years of teaching experience. Once you have your 3 years of teaching experience, then you can pursue a master's in education. So you have to get a master's in education to be able to continue and pursue the principalship certificate. So the master's program takes about 2 years to complete. And so my master's is in educational leadership. So once I completed my master's in educational leadership, I had to pursue a certificate to become a principal. So that's 1 year. So it's actually 2 years total. So it's 1 year for your master's and then another year for you to get your certificate to become a principal. And you go through an interview process and you tell the committee about your goals and what you want to pursue as a principal. And then you take the course and you do about 150 maybe hours of internship where you volunteer your time as an assistant to a principal so that you can learn everything you need to learn before you become a principal. So you put in a lot of time and a lot of effort into that. And then once you do that, you have to take this big test. But you know what? Y'all are great at testing and I know you do a great job with that. So you can pursue that someday. And so what you do is you take the test. And then if you get a certificate, if you get a passing grade on that test, you become, you get a certificate and you become certified to become a principal. Now, you can't become a principal that quickly because you got to be an assistant first, which is where I'm at right now. So you become an assistant and you work 3 years as an assistant principal before you can pursue a principal position. So let's go over that again. So first you got to get your bachelor's in education in any subject to become a teacher. Then you got to get 3 years experience as a teacher, and then you can pursue your master's and then your principal program, and then you can be certified to be an assistant principal. So that's just a little bit of background in what you need to become an assistant principal or a principal. So you might be thinking, okay, so now I want to be an assistant principal, or maybe I'm thinking about being an assistant principal, but what does an assistant principal do? So an assistant principal has a lot of responsibilities, and I'm going to go over a couple of those with you right now. So my number one concern as an assistant principal is to make sure that all of our students are safe. Safety is our number one concern. When you walk in the door and when you leave, my job is to make sure that you are okay, that your needs are being met educationally, and that you are emotionally okay at school. And I'm here to make sure that everything is okay, to make sure that you are successful here on campus. So that's my number one priority. My next priority is to keep communication going at all times. I have to communicate with teachers, I have to communicate with staff, with parents, with the other administrators, with the counseling team, with the cafeteria staff, with the custodial staff, with our police officer, and everybody around our community. So communication is really important to make sure you know what is going on around you and what is going around in your community and in your school community. Okay, so that's really important. So communicating is key in being a good assistant principal. I also have to communicate with parents. So parent communication is really important, because if there is something going on at school that I feel that your parent needs to know about, it's my job to make sure that I communicate with your parents to make sure that we resolve if there's a problem, or let's say you have a question on a class, or you want to change your schedule, or you have a concern. So that's what I'm here for. I'm kind of that in-between person that can communicate with the parent and the student and make sure that, you know, that everybody's aware of what we need to do. So communication is important. I work with teachers daily. So if a teacher needs something, my job is to be available to help them with whatever they need. If they need supplies for their room, if they need somebody to call with a concern, if they need me to sit in on a meeting with them, or they need something for their classroom, or a meeting is going to be held, that's one of my big responsibilities. So working well with teachers. And one of the other things too that I really find a lot of joy in my job is finding that place of unity in our campus. So one of my jobs also is to make our campus feel united. And I have a great leader. Your principal, Mr. McClenny, does a great job about keeping our campus unified and just like working as a team. So my job is to be a part of that team and to make sure that that gets done. So whatever I can do to keep us united and keep us working together as a team, that's one of my biggest priorities as an assistant principal. And one of my other responsibilities is organizing meetings. So we have meetings every week and we communicate with teachers. So I'm a part of those meetings and I have to put those meetings together, and sometimes I'm a part of the agenda. So that's another interesting thing that an assistant principal has to do. So you're also in charge of meetings and meetings with the teachers. But overall, I have to tell you, being an assistant principal is a variety of jobs. You're not only doing what I just listed, but you also have to be available to everything else that happens on the campus. If I have to mop a floor, if I have to clean something, if I have to go and pick up trash, if I have to do anything like that, it doesn't matter what the task is. My goal as an assistant principal is to lend a hand and do whatever I can to make sure the school is running efficiently and make sure that the school is just a great place to be. So I'm an overall well-rounded person as an assistant principal, but that keeps my job super exciting because there's never a dull moment, and you always know what's going on. Okay, so you always know what's happening in the school, and so you're aware of everything, and so it keeps your job very different on a daily basis, and you never get bored. So what does an assistant principal do like a normal day? Like, how does the day start and how does the day end? So first of all, I have to get up very early. My alarm clock rings at about 5 o'clock, but only because it takes me a while to get ready. So not everybody has to get up at 5, but my day starts really early, and I'm usually driving to get to school by 6:40 so that I can be here before 7. So what I usually do when I'm leaving my house is I got to make sure that I have my keys. And right now, of course, we always want to carry our hand sanitizer. So I carry my keys and I carry my badge. So this is my badge. The other thing I gotta make sure that I carry is this fun little thing right here, which is a radio, which has all these little cool little sounds. So this radio helps me communicate with everyone who has a radio, and this keeps me in tune with whatever's going on, whether it's an emergency or just something I need to know. So the fun part about the radio is you always know what's going on, so you never feel like you're lost. So the radio is pretty fun. So radio keys, I always carry my cell phone, which I can't show you because I'm using to record. So I carry my cell phone every day, and one of the things I do is I handle social media for our school. So I'm always taking pictures and interviewing people and talking to people and coming up with stories to showcase our school. So that's another thing that I usually have to carry in my hands. The other thing that keeps me going is a planner. So on my planner, I put all of my meetings and all of my responsibilities for the day, and I make sure I look at this planner every day and make sure I don't miss anything. The other thing I always have to have ready to go is my computer, which is right behind me. So I check in with my computer, and I check in my emails, and I check my agenda and whatever I have going on for the day. My emails and all of that keeps me really in line and keeps me structured. Another thing that I do is I do lunch duties. So I'm in every lunch period, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and I make sure that all of the students eat, and I make sure that they're healthy and that they're following safety protocols, and so that's one of the things that I do. And I end my day with after school duty, after school, making sure that everyone is safe and everyone is staying clear from traffic and making sure that everybody gets picked up. So my day starts about 7 a.m. and I usually leave here about 5:30. 5:45, 6 o'clock. It just depends on the day, like I said earlier. So sometimes I leave around 6 o'clock and I make sure everyone has left the building as far as students before I get to go home. So being a part of Morris Middle School is one of the most amazing experiences I have ever had. And I am so grateful to have been a part of your career day. And I'm gonna end this video with a little tour of my office so you can see what Ms. Mendez's office looks like. So I will be able to give you a tour of my office just so you can see what it's like to be an assistant principal as far as my office, and maybe one day you'll get to see it for yourself and not in a video, but not for any reason that's bad, but for positive reasons. So again, I look forward to continuing to know everybody on this campus, and if I still haven't met you, I look forward to meeting you a little bit more. And if you like a little bit about being an assistant principal or a principal, I really recommend that you pursue it because it is a very rewarding job. And the best thing is I get to work with awesome kids and awesome staff. So again, thank you so much for joining me on Career Day for an assistant principal. And again, I am Ms. Mendez with Morris Middle School.